We want to wish a happy birthday to everybody who has a birthday in the month of August. Lawrence, Joe, Derek, Nancy, Tony, Don, Nancy, Zach, Nathaniel, Elizabeth, Imani, Carolyn, and Jamal. And we have some great anniversaries for the month of August. Gabriel and Dustin, both with 1 year. Eva and Nahaje, as well as Katrina, in 2 years. Corbin with 4 years of service. Virginia over at Virginia Baptist with 10 years on top of her already 20 plus 2-year stints. Earl with 11 years. Jackie with 14. Stacy with 15. Leona with 21. Lisa has 22 years of service. Margie has 24 years of service. And Michelle has 36 years of service with us at Bedford Memorial. And we do have some general announcements for the month that we want to talk about. First of all, annual mandatories are due on September 3rd. That's about 33 days away from today. Please go on to Centra People under e-learning and get those completed as soon as possible. Failure to complete your annual mandatories by the September 3rd deadline results in the forfeit of the annual increase in 2022. Also, if you fail to do it within those 2 weeks, then you will be terminated. Please be sure to check your emails for our new support services newsletter that Ren Roberts, our Senior Director of Support Services, has put out. You will see a regularly published newsletter that takes into consideration everything within the support services groups. That's security, EVS, nutrition services, and the Dawson Inn across the system. We are expecting Joint Commission any day now at Bedford Memorial. We continue to remain in a constant state of readiness. Shortly behind that will be the Lynchburg General and Virginia Baptist survey. In preparation for that, we will have another mock survey that will take place starting August 31st, where Vizient will come in for 2 days to do a mock survey. And lastly, as the COVID-19 situation continues to evolve, please make sure that you are staying vigilant at your huddles and paying attention to everything that is posted on Centra People. For the most part, our rules and regulations in response to COVID-19 have remained the same. But if anything changes, it gets posted on Centra People. Please be sure to look there for any updates. I would like to thank everybody for participating in the Glynn survey. While results are still being communicated and action plans are being built, I want to be transparent in how my results went. So I'm going to go through the next few slides reviewing how my survey was, how my managers rated me as a director. Overall, we did have 100% participation, and the top 3 areas were manager, recognition, and feedback. The top 3 opportunities were career plans or growth, prospects, meaning Centra's future, and work-life balance. Those were not a surprise, as those continue to remain some of the key areas from the most recent surveys. Overall, the past 3 surveys, my satisfaction score has gone down. So I need to take a close look at what is the driving factor in that. I need to focus on the connecting of the purpose of what we do at Centra. In other words, focusing on the why and making sure that my leaders know what the why is and why it's important. I also need to focus on communication, not only on what's going on, but the positive things that we're working on, and continue to champion the efforts that we make as a group and as an organization. As you can see in this word cloud, you have in blue the comments that were favorable, and in red the comments that were unfavorable. Lots of focus on employee retention, the onboarding and recruiting process, and the hiring process. Also, some neutral comments in terms of overall Centra leadership and how problems are handled. In this diagram, which is the correlation diagram, it tells us which comments were connected and how they were connected. There was a lot about recruitment being a top concern and the need to partner with our recruiting team. Retention also plays a big part of that. In turn, compensation and other career opportunities need to be a focus. Our teams want to be able to grow. And then lastly, communication is a big piece. We need to learn how to communicate from the top and not ignore some of the issues that are going on, as that just creates more conflict. Work-life balance is one of our concerns as a leadership group. I know in order to champion work-life balance, I need to be able to do that myself. I need to look at what my priority areas are and how I can better turn my time and attention to not only what needs to be done here at work, but also on the personal side, and be a champion for my leaders to be able to do the same. I also need to look at how I share feedback in regards to HR and learning development and how we have opportunities to learn and grow as a leadership group, which may be outside the traditional realm of the classes that are available to us here at Centra. I need to look at how we are promoting the lead and supervisor positions and moving those forward. And also really focus on the time that everybody has to be able to have time off from work. And what does that look like in terms of being balanced and fair? Under career plans, I need to really look at what the indicators of burnout are and make sure that I'm allowing people to take the time off that they need so that burnout is prevented. Leaders need to look at opportunities that are front-facing, knowing that some of the leaders are looking at opportunities outside of this industry. I need to really look at what the cause is behind leaders wanting to look at other opportunities and how to get leaders out of doing hourly positions. Effective leaders cannot do their jobs if they are having to do the jobs of hourly employees. I really need to focus on the why and dig more into the why behind what we do. And then continue to discuss accountability and what does that look like? How do we move that forward? In terms of prospects, how do we create excitement for the future of Centra and really look at the just cause, partnering with you to live your best life? We need to look at how we communicate concerns and create solutions on how to mitigate any gossip that we might hear, not only internally, but also out in the community. We also need to focus on what we do and how important the work is, and not let some of that noise get in the way. We need to be a champion for Centra both in and outside of the community, meaning that our community service work needs to be ever more important now than it ever was. Look at the bigger picture of things and how do we stand out amongst the other departments and continue to have positive results. And how do I personally create excitement for the future of Centra, which has a lot of the gossip and other things that go into play with that. Some other area of improvements are under leadership confidence, communicate good things that are going on, be a champion for change, and work through any gossip and acknowledge and handle that immediately. And then really in patient experience, how do we focus on the comments in our patient survey and build a better brand within our support services through rounding, test trays, zoning, and overall room service? This is an important part of my overall piece, and this is really what are we doing and what will we continue to do as a leadership team. Well, we will continue to have our one-on-one quarterly meetings where we talk about strategy. We will continue to focus on the culinary culture and build a great food service experience. Create awareness for what we do through various forms of communication. Making sure that we have the right people on the right seats of the bus moving forward as a department. We will continue our education and outreach for anybody who is interested in learning, developing, and growing. We will continue our leadership training. So we did leadership training a couple years ago. we're going to get back on that and have different leadership classes, and then start to pick back up with some of the other frontline leadership training. And then lastly, we are going to work with other departments and partner on that food service experience, working together for the patient. So how does this fit into the overall Centra survey? Well, the top 3 strengths were barrier to execution, resources, and leadership, where the top 3 opportunities were career plans, team, or the teams you work with, and purpose. So for the most part, they were pretty similar. We do a great job of breaking down the barriers to move forward, get our own resources, and leadership is one that was not part of one of the top 3 strengths. On the other side of that, the career plans and the purpose are 2 big focuses, where team, that was not something that was in our overall survey. We have very strong teams and work well together. But as you can see, there are a couple of similarities in both areas. And so we will continue to make progress and get ready for the survey at the same time next year.